The two primary ways of manipulating exposure are using ISO or gain and using the iris or aperture on the lens. Simply changing one setting doesn't mean that the image is the best possible, so we're going to look at what these settings do and how they manipulate the picture. The first thing we are going to do is change the ISO, which measures the sensor's sensitivity to light. This is a holdover from film, when film was rated by its sensitivity to light. As we increase the ISO, the sensitivity to light becomes greater, and the image becomes brighter. These grid lines that have appeared indicate that the image is overexposed and unusable. Let's take a look at what the footage captured in the camera looks like. As I move the ISO back down, the image becomes more appropriate in terms of exposure. We're all the way back down to 100, now up to 400, which seems to be a pretty comfortable range. I'm now going to use the iris to change the amount of light reaching the sensor. Right now, the lens is wide open at 1.7, and I'm slowly going to close it down, and the image becomes darker because less light is reaching the sensor. With ISO, the larger the number, the more sensitive the sensor is to light, and the brighter the image. With f-stop, the smaller the number, the more light is entering the lens, and the brighter the image. We will talk more about this in the next module. Here's what that looked like in the camera. The image is darker because there is less light reaching the sensor. Back to ISO. I'm going to make the sensor less sensitive to light and now more sensitive to light. The choices that I make will impact my dynamic range, color, and depth of field. If possible, it's best to use the native ISO of your camera and then adjust the iris for exposure. You can find the native ISO for your camera online. If you are not able to get an appropriate exposure technically or creatively, you will need to take light away or add light to your scene.